Matt, you've been involved in some research at Barossa related to music. What was the impact that you saw specifically?
Yeah, so we were lucky enough to work with the Global Centre of Modern Ageing when we were sort of beta testing the Miro music, which was the first incarnation of Vera, and it was fascinating because we got to apply the intervention, so to speak, on a number of residents, and Roy was probably the one that we all remember the most because he was a man who was deep inside himself, so very severe dementia, and basically would sit head down, no reaction, and starting to go into contractures. His family would come in and play the music with him, and he started out just tapping his toes. He was a band member, so in the Barossa we've got town bands. It's just a thing that we do, and every town has one. And he was in the Marananga town band, and if you don't know where Marananga is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't add to the story. They wear a green uniform. But he was in that band his whole life. So every time that band music went on, he started tapping his foot. And the more and more we used the intervention, the more he started doing things. And then he did start to vocalise, but his vocalising wasn't actually coherent. He was making noises towards his daughter, which, you know, it looked like he was trying to say something. But I think if we tried the intervention years earlier, we might have actually kept some of that, you know, Henry style. In the end, it would be you take the headphones off, and for a couple of hours afterwards, you'd still get that response from Roy, that he would be easier to work with. And he was a big unit. He was like 120 kilos, and you didn't want to mess with him. And especially when you're trying to move someone around that's got contractures at 120 kilos, it's complicated. But there was a relaxing whenever music was applied. So we kept using music with Roy for, well, right up until his death. But we had quite a few stories like that, not quite as pronounced as Roy. We actually had quite a few Roys that had positive results. Maybe it's the name, but so maybe it should be Roy music. I don't know. But if music was a strong part of their background, we certainly got a better result.
Yeah,